My eating disorder got bad enough that I was totally focused on what was going in and coming out of my body, to the point where I would be studying and I would read an entire chapter of a history textbook and not remember anything that was in the chapter. I would go back to pages and look for something familiar and it just wasn't there. And in some respects, it got to the point where I just started spiraling out of control. I wanted to continue shaving down until I was pretty weak. It was a weak thing to do to seek help. That all my friends were on the right track and they had all of their stuff together, and I was supposed to as well. People came to me for help. So, what was I doing? Seeking help. So there was some stigma around that, and there was certainly stigma and shame that I learned at a very young age about being queer. There's all kinds of taunting that happens about people being gay. So for both those things, I learned really quickly that I shouldn't talk about them and that I wasn't okay to, feel the way I felt about any of it. A key part of my recovery that I figured out toward the end of treatment was that advocacy was going to be a part of that. I left college feeling really motivated to let other people know that it was okay to feel the way that they felt, and that it was actually pretty normal, pretty common to feel that way. And whether it was diagnosable or not was not really the issue. Like, we all go through things that we need help dealing with. And so for the next few years, I like to explain it as just walking through open doors. I started working with college students, and in my first job, I got to do wellness programs with college students, and I would ask them what kind of programs I wanted to do, and they were consistently mental health programs. And when I went to grad school, I found Active Minds, and I was a chapter member as a grad student. And then it was at that time that I went to conference and found out about the Speakers Bureau and applied, and it's just been one open door of advocacy after another. I hope people will learn from my story that it's really okay to be exactly who you are. And sometimes you need help to figure out exactly who that is, but there's no shame in that. And if we're not constantly doing work in our lives to be exactly who we are and be the best version of ourselves, then, we've stopped learning, really, and we've stopped evolving. My story particularly resonates with, college students, particularly students at small colleges. I went to small colleges and I've worked at small colleges. I've also been involved in the field of student affairs. So student affairs professionals are a group of people who seem to respond pretty well to my message, as well as LGBTQ organizations. For a movement of people who are all seeking to try to find a way to eradicate the stigma that surrounds mental health issues, a stigma that is archaic and outdated and I think can be tremendously changed by this generation.